NIL really plays a role in attracting Gen Z. I mean, we're attracting Gen Z, notwithstanding NIL, and so are our member institutions. And much of what you're hearing today and what's unfolding in front of your eyes, the brand refresh, how we're enhancing and modernizing our championships, how we're creating creative spots to connect with youth culture and that Gen Z demographic. Those are the ways that we are attracting Gen Z, and I feel very comfortable about our approach. It's not about NIL.
Brent over here, Mitch Harper with KSL Sports and KSL News Radio.
How are you, Mitch?
Doing great.
Good.
How do you envision the four newcomers elevating the brand of this conference, and maybe vice versa, the brand of this conference elevating the newcomers?
Well, I mean, if you were on social media on July 1, you saw the power of those four brands and how they engage with fans, how they think about brand, and how they think about social media. So we're excited to be partnered with those four new schools. And, you know, we're now in 8 states. We reached over 75 million people in our footprint now with the help of those four schools. So they bring a lot of value to this conference, and we're, again, very excited to have them.
Commissioner Jeff Kolb with Fox 4 in Dallas over here.
Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
In a similar vein to the last question, can you talk about the potential that you see in these four schools, what you like there, and how the conference, what the role of the Big 12 is to help these four schools have even more success than they have?
Well, I mean, I think I answered the question of what I think about the four schools, but I will tell you, we serve our member institutions, and we're engaged with them on a daily basis. And to the extent that we can help them elevate and amplify what they do and how they do it, that's our role. And I think we've started doing that already. We have great collaboration. And listen, let's face it, it's been a bit of a step for them up to the Big 12, but they've embraced it, they're investing behind it, and we're collaborating. So again, excited to have the four schools, and they're doing a great job.
Brett, hey, this is Ian Impeachment with Killer Frogs, Fan Nation right here down the middle.
Where are you? Oh, I see you. Thank you.
Just a quick question about the agreement with AT&T to extend the Big 12 championship game being here in the Metroplex. What's the significance of keeping it here as opposed to moving it to an alternative location?
It's a world-class venue, probably the finest venue in America. We have a great partnership with AT&T Stadium and the Dallas Cowboys and the entire organization. And it's kind of nice that we start our season here effectively and end it here. And in speaking to some of the student athletes that are here today, this place is very aspirational. So doubling down on that partnership, critically important for us, and very happy about it. But thank you for the question.
Hey, Brad, Kellis Ravenette here with the Wichita Eagle and the Kansas City Star. Well, I've heard you say that you wanted the conference to stay at 14 members even after this season. Can you expand on why you like 14 compared to 12 or 16?
I did say 14. You're absolutely right. I do think there's strength in numbers. But I also said we're not chasing a number. And that, you know, if and when the opportunity presents itself to stay at 14, we'll pursue it. But I did say that, and I backpedaled a little bit because I realized, you know, it's not about chasing a number. It's all about creating value for membership, and we'll see where that takes us. But thank you for that question.
Back here, Commissioner Kevin Kinder with the Blue and Gold News.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. On the sale of data rights, does that go into next generation type data like speed tracking, all those kind of things that different schools are doing now? Or is it just traditional data? And how do you balance that against your stated desire to prevent that from assisting gambling?
Well, first of all, I'll say it's more traditional, but we're working with our selected partner on how broad we can go. And I do think controlling how our data is disseminated and gathered is critically important with our overall strategy. There are data collectors that are unofficially in our venues right now, collecting data and selling it to third parties. And that's happening all over the country. And our data deal will afford us an opportunity to control that. And that's what we're pursuing. But thank you for that question.
Hi, Hi, Brett. Rochelle Montaigne with the ABC affiliate in Tulsa.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good.
With your background in professional sports, it seems like some of the moves you've made, the halftime performances, the Hispanic broadcasts, expansions, follow that pro sports prototype. Why did you feel like those were right enhancements for this conference?
Well, it's a great question. And I think many of my skill sets have been transferable into this role. We're in the business of building brands and businesses and connecting to consumers and providing great fan experiences. All these things I've done before. Obviously, I've had a lot to learn, and I continue to have a lot to learn. But I do think some of the things that we discussed today as a recap of what we've done over the last 12 months are indicative of things I've done before, and I think they're very transferable to our space. And when I look back on this first year, I'm thrilled with our progress, thrilled about everything we've done and we'll continue to do, but we're only getting started. For those that have said, my God, you guys have accomplished a lot during this year, I can tell you we're just getting started. There's a lot more to do, but thank you for that question.
Brett, all the way back here, Parker Ream with Fox 44 in Waco, all the way back. You see my hand up here?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Don't worry about it. Kind of going off about that question, you said there's still a lot to do. You came in here kind of guns a-blazing, business is open. What more do you guys have to do to get where you wanted to go coming into this conference?
I mean, the more initiatives, continuing to build the profile and the narrative, making sure we're getting on the consciousness of future student athletes and current student athletes. Obviously building our revenue, that's a big part of it. We've got lots of ways that we're going to do that. Exciting opportunities in front of us. So there's a lot to do. Leverage the capability and influence of ESPN and Fox and their broad reach to broaden our fan base from coast to coast. There's a lot of work to do. We only laid the foundation this year.
All right, this will be the last question.
Greenstein, Lawrence Journal over here. When you do
Henry, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
When you do consider the prospect of future expansion into Thursday and Friday, how do you kind of weigh the interests of television exposure versus those of potential in-person attendees to games?
It's a great question. We collaborate with our ADs. We don't do anything, without the input and the sign-off from our ADs and our board. I will tell you that very hot during the summer months. So especially in the fall. So playing on a Friday night versus Saturday morning does have its benefits. And, when you think about the tonnage of college football on air on a Saturday, provides a lot of opportunity for us to kind of build our profile on a Friday night. But there's a lot that goes into that decision. You're absolutely right. It's not just about visibility. It is all about the fans and what's right, for our schools and their campuses. So all that is part of the consideration set and how we move forward. But thank you for your question.
That's going to wrap up our question and answer portion of the period, Commissioner Yormark. Appreciate the time.
Thank
to our
you.
media members. We're just getting started here in Arlington. For those of you watching on ESPN and the app, we'll have much more coverage right after this. Commissioner, thank you.